Now, you've been doing this for so many years, and obviously you want every movie that you participate in to do the best artistically and with the audience. But did you come to develop a sense during the year that when you're doing a specific movie, even on the set, you say, this one's going to be special, this one's really going to go places and touch people in a very deep way?
I don't think you could feel that. You have no idea.
Like swimming pool,
You have no idea, because it's like a zeitgeist thing, a film. You have a subject and you think, so if you're a producer, you've got to really sort of believe in the subject, and the director has to believe in the subject, and then the actor has to believe it. You all have to believe in what you're doing to keep it going for a long time, because the pre-production, especially, and then before, for a director, works like, 3-4 years on a project. It's a long time in a life. So you've got to really, really be behind it. But that's not going to say that other people are necessarily going to be behind them, because if you want to make a special film, it's not a formula film. You're not making a film with a formula with all the right things in it, because quite often people do make that, and productions do make that, but that doesn't necessarily work, because the audience senses it. The audience wants to feel something magical escapes from the film. You know, like for instance, the Intouchable. There's something magical in that film. It's a beautifully made film, but there's something en plus magical that just goes through. You know, it's not the subject not necessarily you read it, it could be a good, but I mean not especially.
It's sometimes maybe not a regret that you didn't do more comedies, but what you bring to the part sometimes it's a dark humor. I mean, you had an affair with an ape. In Oshima.
I love the way you say that.
Yes, it's true. And in Jonathan Nossiter's film also in Rio that you did.
Did you see that?
Oh, it's
I'm
so crazy.
so glad, because so few people saw that.
That is so funny.
It's
you
so
are
crazy,
so funny
isn't
and crazy. You are evil, but evil.
Evil crazy.
Evil crazy. And in the Jorgen Tegels series, of course, you have this. The humor is here. And
so it's been able to emerge, certainly, and Jonathan Nossiter's is a film it's a crazy film. It's really brilliant, but you can get it on DVD, so please do. It's called Rio Sex Comedy.
Yes, it's very.
And people didn't get it because it's very subversive, and it's quite dangerous, but it's such fun. It's dark humor, but it's also slapstick humor. It's everything. And people
Fedou.
Just were completely, weren't they?
It's like Fedou.
It's like a modern American Brazilian version of Fedou.
I actually thought that the wedding scene in Melancholia, when you do your speech,
funny.
was amazing.
But she's very funny,
funny.
this woman, because she's so awful, but she's
But
very funny.
when a mother is telling her daughter at a wedding, enjoy it while it lasts, and this is the best blessing she can come up with.
Yes.
This is really funny. But this is from Trey.
And then get out while you can.
A lot of people can get. But I wanted to ask you, since it seems like the most interesting movie making these days is people are doing it out of Hollywood anyway, mostly from the independent part of the industry in Europe. Are there any new directors that you say to yourself, well, one day I have to work with this guy. I really want to do a movie with him.
Oh, I'm sure, but I can't think of names.
So many.
There probably are quite a few. Of course there are. But I would have difficulty going to. I've never been able to ask anybody to work with me. It's been, I guess, it's either because I'm too proud, or I'm too proud because I would hate to be refused, and also I need somehow the desire of the director to come from him and not from me, and feel that if if I was to come and see these wonderful directors here and say, I love your films, would you work for me? I would feel which is silly, because they'd probably be delighted, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Probably say,
Yes. Who wouldn't?
But the thing is that there are very few parts for each individual actor. And it's an engagement from the director's point of view, again, as I said, who works for a long time on a project. There's only going to be one real person that he really wants for that film.Maybe he can't get that person, so then he goes to another one, then he goes to another one. But I, as the person that I am, I'm not. It's not like in Hollywood where the star actor of a certain sort of in her 30s could play lots of different roles because they're the star actor. The cinema in Europe is not like that. It's much more, well, maybe it's a bit more like that, but I don't think it's like that. It's much more about the director really casting who he thinks is perfect for that role.
But there are not so many actresses with this animal instinct or animal intelligence that you mentioned.
Well, not so. I don't know.
When you mentioned that people think I'm a monster, and it's pleasant to be a monster, do you internalize this also when you play?
Do I internalize the monster?
Wow.
Well, I suppose so, because the monster can come out because people are always quite amazed that I can laugh and be a bit jerky and a bit clowny. That's for sure. Because sometimes the monster is very apparent in what I do. But it's like, say, a painter who would paint unbelievably brutal paintings, and he could be a sweet person. You know, it's not the same thing. The connection we have with our unconscious is malgré nous. It's in spite of us. It lives within us, and if it can have a channel, which for me is cinema, then it's going to come out in its animal way, which can be quite sometimes monstrous. Yeah, it's not very sweet. My character is not sweet, that's for sure.
Yes.
This guy.
Here, on your right.
I wanted to ask if you're familiar with Israeli cinema.
Not too much, no. In fact, but what we might be doing, because I'm the president of a festival, a small festival in Paris called Paris Cinéma. It's in July, and this year we've invited Hong Kong, which is why I've just come back from Hong Kong. So we invite a country, and we want to invite Israel next year. So this will be a wonderful way of really seeing, an enormous body of work. Because we see a few films that come out, but not. I don't know what the body of work of Israeli cinema is like. You maybe know better.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I love Israeli cinema and television.
And television.
Yeah, I think the television here
is
very bold sometimes. Yes. Like the original.
Is this series a very good series,
series
that I heard about, that Olivia told me about yesterday?
Yeah, the original version of In Treatment. It's
Oh, is it? Yes, that's right.
It's Israeli.
That's right. It's Israeli. Yeah.
Ethan Fox did some TV too. Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, it's so great to be here and be able to ask you questions.
Okay, go for it. It's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all.
Charlotte, we talked about it with my brother. We are very big fans. And of course, I had the chance to work as the casting director for Woody Allen. And you met him when you did Starless Memories. Talking about Jewish and erotic and New York. Have you followed his career, or have you...
Yes, very much, very much so.
How was the experience?
And in fact, when I met him, he said to me, he sat me down in the hotel room. It was in Paris. I didn't know what the story was or what the script was or anything, but he said, would you be ready to be my ideal woman? So I said, well, what can I possibly imagine I said to him, what can I possibly imagine the ideal woman of Woody Allen would be? And he said, totally neurotic. I said, great, I will be. That suits me quite.
During the production of the Look, the biographical movie, so your condition was that the last word would be yours. I mean, that you would have the last word in every detail that concerns the movie. Is it true? Because in a way it takes the artistic freedom from the creators.
I wonder who's calling.
The director.
Well, yeah, it's the director saying, do not answer this
question. Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. Angelina, I said to the producer, the only reason I wanted, because I'm not a controlling person at all, you probably think I am, because I look like this sort of controlling monster, but I'm actually not. I give over to the creator completely. But with this, I had to recognize who I was. It had to be as truthful a portrait as I could believe that I am truthful. And only I could actually know that. It wasn't about the scenes and about the cutting and about the editing and all. It was just about the essence of the character. If I didn't feel the essence of me was me, then I said I had to burn the film. So it's in the contract. It's being a little bit melodramatic, but I did actually say that the producer did say that the film could just be binned. But that was all because it's not. I didn't want something. I'm proud enough to want the work that I do to bear witness to as close as to who I think I am. If you can understand that rather convoluted philosophical way of speaking.
So obviously, if you're going to see the movie, it means that you're satisfied with the result.
Exactly, and that also what I wanted. I didn't want it. People say, "Well, is this really? Would you have wanted something else?" No, that's it. And I didn't change anything. I changed tiny little bits, a little bit in one or two things I said that I didn't quite hear clearly. And merde! Yes, allez, on va.
I want to know who it is.
Yeah, we really know. Who could possibly be calling 3 times? It's somebody here. Shall I call her? Excuse me a minute, because it's Martine and she's in Tel Aviv. Could she say hello, Martine?
Hi, Martine.
Martine, je suis avec quelques amis à l'Institut.